none other than MMA as the blue Terran player. His opponent's one all the way at the bottom. The Tyrant himself, losing the first series, looking to even it up now and get into the next round. It is, of course, going to be Jaedong as the red Zerg player playing for EG.
Jaedong doesn't play tournaments to lose in group stages, man.
Oh, man.
He plays them to lose in finals.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Which sounds so mean like this, but this is a joke that everybody will understand, of course.
Yeah. Poor guy. People in the chat are like, is this guy Scottish? No, guys, I'm Welsh, sadly. Someone has to be from Wales. Well, different countries to begin with.
Okay.
Like, well, Scotland's north of the UK, and I'm just to the left. But, ooh, Jaedong's been very adequate with his scouting of this with this drone, just to make sure there are no proxies. And I like that, just to make sure that he's not taking any risks.
How different is the accent between Scottish and Welsh people?
Oh, they mumble more and they're more drunk.
That's not an accent, it's a habit.
It is if you go to Scotland, it is.
Alright.
But I'm sure I'm just going to get a lot of stick now for all the Scots, but it's okay, I'm Welsh, they can easily make fun of me.
The drone doing a little bit of harass here, as we talked about it. We talked about this earlier. Have to be careful. Oh, actually, he's gonna stay until the end, and the SCVs of MMA will kill the drone of Jaedong. First blood has been drawn in this game.
And that's a drone as well. That's something that should never really happen. So big mistake there for Jaedong to lose that. And it looks pretty standard now. MMA played Hyun, and I can't exactly. Oh, he went for a lot of. No, that was Daishi, wasn't it? Who went for a lot of Banshees. MMA just kind of mixed it up a little bit, really, didn't he?
Yeah, he used different builds. He tried to go for some Hellions, and I was a little bit surprised because MMA really strikes me as the kind of guy who, just like Daishi, likes to go for the third base, for the double engineering bay, play very bio heavy, and he's one of the best players out there with Medivac drops. He's always been. He's super solid with them. He manages them very well, but they've been figured out a lot more. It's much harder for him to do damage now because everybody has got a lot of practice against it. He used to be the pioneer of it.
Oh god, yeah, we all remember Leisha v him at MLG finals. That's so sick.
Yeah.
And that was like a year and a half, quite a while ago. Which it's mad how much history this scene has. But we do have a factory, and we should have the reactor when he hits 50 gas, and of course it's gonna double produce those Hellions. Ooh, not gonna get a drone there. But forces the gas, guys, which is, a nice little win.
Oh, Jaedong almost getting the surround of that Reaper. That was so close.
Yeah, and you shouldn't be losing the first Reaper, so if he did lose that, that's a huge deal. The second Reaper is coming to join his friend, but actually, no, it looks like he wants to turn around just to make sure no Zerglings run around the right-hand side to maybe force a cancel or get that SCV that's built in the command center.
And Overlord is gonna fly in there and most likely spot that one command center of MMA. And well, I guess he had some lag at the time this was played. And, well, should be okay. MMA, I'm curious to see if he goes for the double engineering bay or not. We'll find out in a second. Personally, if I was there, and I think I will use that build as much as possible, because I've seen so many of them be so successful with it. Whereas Daishi, for example, the game earlier where he went for the late double engineering bay, he lost. Simple as that.
Well, I was watching you and QXC cast that game, and at one point he was talking about the upgrades and how if you have 1-1v pretty much 2-2, you're backed into a corner. You don't really have that map awareness to try and fight your way back into the game. So you're pushed into a corner and then you're just kind of squashed into it. Reapers run around making sure that there is no third base, and we'll get actually the drone. Oh no, actually force a geyser. And Zerglin speed has finished up, so he has to be careful. The Reaper could get picked off, and actually might.
Oh, nice surrounds! As much as he missed the last one.
Oh,
this one is 6. Was a 6-6 surround.
Yeah,
I would expect Warcraft players to be able to pull this off, but not a Brood War player. Then again, it's the Dong we're talking about. If there is a man who can do anything, that's him.
The Tyrant himself. But now we do have a couple of Hellions, 4 in total, 2 more in production, so he is going up to that 6. And we do have the Stim in production. The second, guys, it does get added on, so the 2E base shouldn't be too far away.
He starts double racks before.
Yeah, you need that production first, and then you go for that to, of course, you make sure you have the units that are worth upgrading.
Maybe that last game of MMA versus Hyun also on his mind, where he got busted.
Yeah, that's very true as well, actually. And Hyun did beat MMA with 2 busts, Baneland's Roach busts, which have done a lot of damage, and one of them he eventually won the game. In the first one he won it straight out. But the double Evo is out. There's the 1-1, including the melee upgrade. So once again, we've only seen Mutalin Blin against Terrans thus far tonight, so I'm guessing we're going to see that again. And so yeah, like we got a lot of production. The reactor onto one of the barracks, so his production is going to be really good, and we should see a starport added on very soon. And yeah, like he's going to power pretty hard, like we saw against what was it, MMA v Hyun in the first game. Like he powered really hard.
Yeah. If you give any opportunity like this to Zerg of the caliber of Jaedong or Hyun, they will almost always do that.
Yeah, absolutely. So
Jaedong, it feels like Jaedong likes to play with more drones and more late game than Hyun would, for example. Oh my god, great surround on these aliens.
Oh,
man, Jaedong,
wow.
he always makes this happen. He makes this kind of move is in so many games that when you watch it, you might think, this is the standard ZvT, this is supposed to happen in the mid game, but no, it's not. Through great mind games, through great scouting and anticipation, he's able to pull this off time after time. This impresses me so much.
Yeah, and he's splitting the Zerglings around everywhere just to make sure no hidden bases or sneaky shenanigans are coming out of the Terran player. The Medivacs will be out in the on the field very soon, as they are in production right now, and the eBays are getting that 1-1. We even have numerous carapace in production, so Overlords, like I'm guessing we're going to see that thing that he done on Frost, where he finishes up and he's going to spread Overlords across the entire map, so he spots absolutely everything if drops do start incoming. And one Zergling at the third base forces to stim out a couple of units, and he has got a third. It is floating towards that location, so he's going to start saturating that. And a couple of Zerglings might. Oh no, they can't fight this. Oh, Jaedong's got to be careful.
Yeah, he's lost a few of them, too many here. And man, the creep spread. It's so weird because Jaedong creep spread so well, he macros so well, but in the end he ended up losing one series. And on the other hand, you have Hyun, who doesn't seem to pay much attention to creep spread compared to Jaedong. He took out the 2 Terrans that he played.
Yeah, absolutely. Now the Medivac drop was spotted, and especially as it does fly past these Overlords, so there are Banelands morphing in and Zerglings ready to surround those Marines as they do get dropped out, and of course that forces him to boost away and get an Overlord kill, so I guess that's something at least. Now the Spire is about to finish, 2-2 has started, Baneland speed as well, and holy Jesus Christ, we have 14 creep tumors in production right now.
Yeah. What time are you at in the game, by the way?
11 minutes 24.
Okay, I'm at 11:35 now. So try to catch up a little bit, so we're synced a little bit better.
Okay, 11:40. Alright, so that's a +1 for the flyers. So Mira's gonna start doing the extra splash damage, and the composition is okay. We do have the mines finally being added into the mix, so that's nice. Of course, you want that splash damage, a bit of an anchor point to the army as well, force the the Zerg to multitask or micro, unless of course he wants to just suicide all his units into some mines. And there's drilling claws as well, so they will be detonated a lot faster.
Yeah, MMA moving out right now. Gonna have to be very careful because he's just right outside of the creep. If he steps on it, I'm sure Jaedong's gonna have something to say about this. I would say the big difference between what Jaedong and what Hyun did is the amount of banelings. We have a lot less banelings from Jaedong, so he's very Zergling heavy every single time.
Yeah. And cleaning up the creep team, he does want to do this, of course, especially with how good Jaedong is spreading that. And did an Overlord of Muta just get vaporized then? Something died. And the Mutas are trying to get those Medivacs for the boost, of course. Does escape them, drop in the units, but this is all going to get cleaned up and forced to lift off, and then the Mutas will kill them as they try to escape. So, decent trades that. MMA's down by about 30 supply, not a massive amount for this stage of the game. Kind of what you expect, really. And Jaedong's got his 4th base. He's up to 8 gas, already mining them. So he's got a lot of gas income, can make a lot of Banes, get those upgrades, get those Mutas, and of course tech.
Yeah, the
doesn't have his
armor,
hive though.
vehicle armor is being researched here for MMA as well. And Drilling Claws, he's about to complete the 2-2 as well. I wouldn't be surprised if MMA goes for a 2-2 timing here in a second. And I like the positioning on those barracks, by the way. They're going to be able to rejoin the fray much faster than otherwise. Making a bunch of turrets here. He's afraid of the Mutas possibly flying into his main. That's also one of the things. Like Jaedong, he likes to make a certain amount of Mutas. In this case, he's up to 16 and then he stops. He doesn't make any more than that. He doesn't want a huge Muta cloud. He focuses.
Yeah,
on getting a few Mutas, a few Zerglings, not that many, and a lot of... actually, a few Banelings and a lot of Zerglings. But in this case, he's morphing a few more of those Banelings.
He's got enough to nearly just one-shot Medivacs.
Oh, and he goes for the fight here. He's going to get a good surround on those units. The Medivacs immediately pick up the units and try to escape. Jaedong is going to be under the chase. But those units, they're going to rejoin the Widowmine and the rest of the army in time, I think. But Jaedong doesn't care. He goes for it. His Mutas are taking a ton of damage, but he has a lot of Zerglings and Banelings tanking on the ground.
And the Marines are running forward back towards that command center, and Widowmines are burrowing. There is Overseers and a Thor even getting some Banelings blown up on him, and a lot of damage is being dealt. The reinforcements though, damn, there's a lot of reinforcements, and this will all get cleaned up. And once again, Miras, you know, he's always left with the Miras. It's always Miras v Marine, you know, just a few Marine stragglers,
and, which he cannot fight with. And Jaedong, again, just like the game against Daishi, is committing a lot to these 4 bases and this huge production. He's not taking into Hive anytime soon. He's got so much gas, by the way. This is ridiculous. Almost 1,300 gas right now. Flies into some Widowmines. He's gonna have to be very careful here.
Yes, you know, the supplies are very even right now. There is a 20 worker difference, which means MMA is up in supply. He's rolling forward, scanning to get the creep team. So we see that his moving in will not be long for this world. And oh, the Banelings, are they going to get the connections that they need? And nice splits coming out of MMA, but it will all get cleaned up, and the Miras will force the Medivacs to boost away and to safety. But there's still a lot of units just reinforcing in the center of the map.
Yeah, Jaedong needs some Overseers, so he finally gets one over here, but not before those Widowmines detonate.
Oh. And the 4th base has been denied for the moment, as 2 Overlords are pooping that creep onto that location.
And Hive finally starts. By the way, one of those hatcheries must be misrallied. There is a whole bunch of Zerglings in the main. Jaedong needs them with his army right now. He could possibly be finishing the game if they had been there. The Mutas actually dying! Jaedong is left with only 2 Mutas. He's remaking 7 of them now, but losing those was very important here. He cannot afford that.
And he has a lot of changes on the field, granting some vision, but this is so many Marines. It's, you know, there are some Widowmines, I think, trickling in or in production, but very slowly and getting taken out fast. And splits coming out of MMA, but of course there's just too many units here. And oh, actually, no, the healing will save this, and that one lone meter is forced to run away or fly away. And yeah, the Hive is about 30 seconds away. As soon as that finishes up, he can get his 3-3. There is no +3 armor in production for the bio yet, but the +3 weapons isn't too far away from finishing up at 70 seconds. And you know, the 3-3 Jaedong really does need it. It's becoming, it's going to start getting too cost inefficient, like we saw him play against Daishi when he never got his 3-3. You know, Baneland, Zerglings in production. He hasn't got his 5th base, and his economy is, you know, absolutely fantastic. So he can afford to just about trade in efficiently. But of course, you'd rather not.
Jaedong has so much vision on the map right now. There is no way he's ever going to be surprised by any kind of drop. He's got Overlords on the sides. And MMA is just massing on these 4 bases that he has. A lot of upgrades start here for Jaedong, but he's not going to have time to complete them before the next fight. MMA is pulling ahead on supply now. 180 against 163.
Yeah, the creep spread is still absolutely fantastic. It's all the way on the other side, get so close to the natural, and this kind of slows MMA down a bit. Of course, he has to clean it up, deny that creep, and of course stop his opponent getting a speed increase. But here comes the fight, the Widowmines burrow, and the Marines trying to pull back. The Banelings blow up on the floor, not the best engagement there. And right now, MMA has a good engagement, and once again he goes in the Mutas, trying to fight this.
Oh, this was a really bad fight. Really bad fight for Jaedong. Good trade for MMA, who's going to press forward. He still has the supply lead. The army supply right now, 104 for MMA, 64 for Jaedong. MMA's got the +3 attack upgrade for his Marines.
Yeah, and the upgrades for Jaedong pretty far away. He does have, you know, the +3 fly attack, 3-3 melee, and the chitinous plating, I believe. No, the adrenal glands. And here come the Mutas. They're coming in. There's a lot of Marines here, and it looks like it might be able to get cleaned up as more Zerglings do stream in. But as they do get vaporized, the Mutas are all that's left, and GG will get called. There's no way can Jaedong survive that aggression with just Mutas.
Wow, I don't understand. Like, when I watch these games, I feel like Jaedong's Mutas and Zerglings, they're weaker than Hyun's somehow. Both players have great macro. Hyun's, I would say Hyun's engagements, they seem significantly better than Jaedong. You know, Jaedong, he just attacks up front with all of his army, and then he kind of hopes for the best. Even when it's on creep, he gets in there very quickly. But Hyun's engagements, they were like the best I've ever seen in this matchup. He came from the side many times. He surrounded the entire army, didn't let his opponent stutter step, and there was just so many Banelings. It looked, every time that Hyun fights, it looked like the Terran is gonna have no chance almost. When you see the start, the more, the start of the fight, the more you see it happen, you think, Hyun is never gonna lose that fight. But Jaedong, every time he gets in there, he starts losing a lot of units immediately. And yeah, I guess all those Widow Mines really help too. People go really Widow Mine heavy versus Jaedong because they know he's not gonna use any kind of roaches. He does Zergling, Baneling, Muta exclusively, so that must also help a lot.
Yeah, definitely. I think one thing that comes into play is the fact that it feels like Jaedong takes engagements when he has to stop the Terran attacking him, whereas Hyun kind of brings it to the Terran when he's comfortable fighting. That's what I would say. And also, like, I was paying some attention to the Hyun games, but he also kind of tries to harass with his meters. But Jaedong literally did not go and harass anything. He just took fights and tried to clean up, drops and the medevacts. So I think that's something that could come into play as well.
MMA was quite solid in that last game. Played it very well. And Jaedong is going to have to do better than that. If Hyun did it, Jaedong surely can too.
Absolutely. I am ready for the next game.
Working on the scoreboard. Alright.